So thank you guys so much for coming to this Akashic Records Masterclass. So the concept of what we're tapping in today is learning more about the Akashic Records, what the benefits are of connecting to the records, how we can access it ourselves, and how it can help to empower our lives. So the Akashic Records are essentially a field of information. People say that it's actually the eighth dimension that we can tap into. It's essentially the God consciousness. It's like has the collection of all information for all events, all happenings that have ever existed in humanity up until this present moment. So this is basically like the internet for soul. That's how some people refer to it as. It's like this endless field of information, all of the knowledge of everything that's ever happened, all in this space. So a lot of people refer to the Akashic Records as a library of information. And some people ask me, like, is it an actual library? Is this a place that you could go? And the answer is yes and no. So what it essentially is an energetic field that exists within all of us. So if your mind chooses to perceive the Akashic Records as a library, that's how you're going to see it, because it's something that we all have access to because we're all feeding into it. So imagine yourself as a drop in the ocean being the Akashic Records. You're part of that ocean. So for you to recognize yourself as being the ocean, that's you stepping into the Akashic Records. That's you stepping into that frequency of knowledge and information. So what this really is about you tuning into your own inner awareness to raise your vibration, raise your frequency to access this information that is available to everyone. There's no one special person that has access to this information. There's no one special person that has the only available to like tap into certain things. Everyone has access to the Akashic Records, but it is up to you on your spiritual path and journey to really work with your vibration, to work with your energy to be able to access this. The gateway into the Akashic Records is actually through knowing oneself, through knowing your spiritual guides, through understanding your connection to the universe, and also allowing yourself to dive in. So like I said before, some people perceive the Akashic Records as a library, and sometimes when people go in, they will literally see a library. So other people just see it as like energy everywhere, and they're just tapping in and grabbing the energy. And people say, like, you see what you allow yourself to see, what is the most comfortable for you. It's the same thing as like when you're connecting to spirits. Like if you feel like you don't want to see a spiritual being in front of you, then you won't see it. You'll create that block for yourself. So the Akashic Records work in the same way. Based on how you want to perceive it is how it's going to show itself before you. So these are the different topics that we're going to tap into today. The philosophy of the Akashic Records, how to access the records, what the Akashic Records prayer is, and benefits to accessing the Akashic Records. So like I said before, this concept for the Akashic Records has actually been around for centuries. There's actually Sanskrit text that has references to this etheric field of information that exists. So this has existed for centuries, and it's in so many ancient texts and so many ancient books. And different religions also will refer to the Akashic Records in different ways. So this is something that has kind of been ingrained into spirituality from the very beginning. So it's so interesting because even different civilizations, different cultures that never had communication with each other were somehow still getting the same information, that there's this concept of like a web of information that humanity is somehow spiritually connected to. So it's said to contain every thought, every emotion, and every action that has ever occurred in the universe. So it's believed to be like a non-physical plane of existence in the astral plane. So the thing about this is that, like we discussed before, psychics have the ability, everyone has some psychic ability within them. It's up to you to really work with this ability to be able to hone your skills. So you developing your ability will allow you to access the Akashic Records and gain insight and knowledge about yourself and other people. So it has insight about past lives, your current life purpose, and future possibilities. So with the past life, there's something called like an Akashic past life healing. So what you do in this is you'll go into your past life and you might be able to ascertain, for example, I'm going to use myself as an example. So when I started diving into the Akashic Records, I was healing a lot of family trauma. And I've had a lot of different traumas with my mom in particular. And I was in a place where I just really had this deep desire to heal myself. And I didn't really know what this trauma stemmed from, why I deserved this. I was very much like in a victim mentality. Like, how can the universe give me these parents, give me this pain, make me go through these situations? So when I started working with Lynn, one of the first things that I learned with her was psychic surgery. So psychic surgery is essentially about going into different energetic blockages within the body and releasing that trauma through somatic energy healing. So what I learned from this was that we all have the ability to heal ourselves from trauma through the somatic release. But then part of us is like, why did I even have to experience it? Why did I have to have this relationship with my mom? Why couldn't it have been perfect? So as I was going through this exploration, Lynn and I had done an Akashic Records reading together. And within the readings, I asked her to basically go into my Akashic Records with my mom to see, what is the pain in this relationship? Where does this stem from? What is the karma behind this? So the Akashic Records actually allows you to access the history of karma with different people, with different connections, with different themes in your life. So when we went into the Akashic Records, what I saw was that in a past life, I was actually the mother and my mom was the daughter. And I, as the mother, abused my mom as she was my daughter. And it was because of like all of these difficult situations that I faced. We had financial hardship. We had all of these different problems in our family. I was abused. And I was able through that to see this cycle, to see this loop, and understand that this was my karma, that I had to experience the same pain that I had given my mother when she was my daughter. And as crazy as that loop sounds, when I stepped into that understanding, I was also able to step into a place of forgiveness. And this is really what the purpose of the Akashic Records is about. It's about you really understanding the depth of the connection, the depth of the karma, the depth of the relationships in your life so that you can forgive, so that you can move forward, so that you can empower yourself and other people, so that you can help to transform the lives of other people and fully live in your soul's purpose. This is the true essence of what we're doing here, is allowing you to heal and allowing you to live within your purpose, because it is through these different healing modalities that we are able to become and transform and step into the depths of ourselves. Hello, Alexandria. Welcome, Queen. Hi, welcome. Yay. That's one of my friends from Costa Rica too. But yeah, does anyone have any questions so far about the Akashic Records? Yes, Liz.
I have one.
Yes.
What is soma? You had mentioned somatic release.
Yeah, so somatic energy release, that's basically when you identify that there is some sort of energy blockage within your body, and to release it, it's more of like a physical release. It's basically the acknowledgement that whatever energy blockage you have is almost tangible. So it's turning your healing into something that is tangible. So when you do the psychic surgery, you'll see it through meditation that there might be some sort of like physical energetic mass that is stuck within your body. And in order to release it, you could do a mixture of including physical movement. And also you can do things like identifying the emotions that are trapped within that physical blockage.
Okay, so it's like I was doing a healing on my friend, and I kind of sensed and saw a spear through her heart, and I took the spear out and filled it with love.
That's exactly what psychic surgery is.
Okay, got it.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Welcome, Alexandria.
Hello. I was like trying to figure out how to do all this. I've never done
It's all
Zoom on a
good.
phone,
You
so.
did it. You made it. You're here. Yay. Oh my God. Welcome. Yes. So I'm just going to give you just a little quick little
Should
summary.
I know anything before?
Yeah. So we basically just talked about the Akashic Records dimensional concept. So it's a field of information that contains all of the history of humanity, of the universe. So it contains every thought, every emotion, every action that has ever occurred in the universe. But this is actually connected to our own internal being. So this is the important aspect. It's not something that's outside of ourselves that we need to like travel to access. It's actually within us. So think of it like we are a drop in the ocean of the Akashic Records. So it's really through knowing ourselves that we get to access this field of information, this field of knowledge. So with that understanding, it also contains the history of our past lives. It also contains things about our current life purpose, different themes we might be going through, and it also contains possibilities for the future. Yay. And then I was just basically talking about how in my personal experience, I healed the relationship with my mom through understanding our karma in the Akashic Records, understanding that there was a point in our history as souls where I was her mother and I abused her as my daughter. And now in this lifetime, I had to experience this to let it go and heal it.
Wow.
Yes.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I feel that is kind of my understanding, but it was something that I have not yet fully went into the level of being able to know how to tap into that. So I feel that's like the next for me is like the understanding and also how to apply that and like how you can use that level of understanding and knowing. So that's beautiful to hear that you've done that with your mom and that kind of work. So that's like really useful in knowing like how can I apply this information of like knowing my entire soul history to be able to then like do it in this realm and then healing in this realm. So
Yes.
that's really
Yeah. And one of the things too, as you all are here, you're all healers doing your practice. So the reason why you're here is to learn about this knowledge so that you can also bring this to your clients, to your sessions, to what you're offering for other people as well. So the philosophy is of the Akashic Records is that everything in the universe is interconnected. So essentially with this interconnection, what you really want to tap into is that everything has this karmic loop as well. So through the Akashic Records, we can really understand these karmic loops more deeply. And when we start to dive into things as deep as past life healings, then we start to really understand why we are where we are. And by understanding the power of whatever lesson is looping from the past, you are then empowered to make the change, to forgive, to let go, to be empowered to step into the healing. And this is really the essence of what this is about. It's not only knowing about the Akashic Records and being like, okay, this is a field of information, this is a library, like, what do I do with that? The purpose of understanding your soul is so that you can approach every relationship in your life through the lens of healing. And this is one of the things that's the hardest in practice to do, is to actually embrace your healing and say to yourself, all right, I'm in this relationship with this person and they hurt me so much, but why did our souls agree to come into this lifetime to experience this hurt? What is the purpose behind this pain that I am experiencing with this person? What have I done to them? Maybe even in a past life that I can learn from, and how can I shape my soul so that I don't have to experience this cycle, this loop again? So here's the thing. There's this concept in the universe that I will continue to experience the pain until I learn the lesson. And this is one of the most hurtful concepts of the universe, but it's also such a loving concept when we view it through the lens of the universe wants to put us through this over and over again, almost like thinking of it like the harsh grandmother kind of energy, where she like genuinely loves you, but she wants you to learn your lessons and she wants you to grow and she wants you to develop yourself at the end of the day. So as we continue to cycle through these lessons, it's really about us having the conscious awareness, having the knowledge of what that cycle is, so we don't fall back into the same trap. Now I've reached this place of healing with my mother where I have this acknowledgement that she's also experienced this trauma and pain, and this resentment that I used to hold against her. I was able to let go of that and kind of approach our relationship through the lens of healing, being like, how can I enjoy the last years that my mother has here on this earth and honor her life and honor all of the sacrifices that she's also made for me. Even though we've been through this pain, even though she's physically abused me, even though she's mentally put me down in so many ways, how can I just approach her from this lens of healing? And it's so wild because there was a point in my life where I literally did not speak to my mother for months. And after doing this healing work, I'm able to now just have my distance and protect myself, but also just approach her from a place of love. And since then, our relationship has completely evolved. And even without asking for an apology from her for some of the things that happened to me in my life, she's apologized to me because she's also felt how I've healed, and she's recognized her own faults and her own flaws, and we're able to enter into this point of forgiveness and harmony. And that's the concept of what we're diving into. It's how can we re-welcome in harmony and integration into our lives through this understanding of our soul contracts, through this understanding of our karmic cords. As difficult as it is, how can we dive in and do the true depth of this work? Does anyone have anything they want to share or anything? Yay. Yay.
I do.
Yay. You could share.
I have noticed in my many years of life on this earth that a simple shift of perception, like you were saying, when you see the records and you see the reason why things happen, that tiny shift can be huge. Because how you respond to outside stimuli, like your mother, you don't have to respond the way you used to respond. And I know with me changing my responses, I just am a lot happier. I'm less judgmental. When I was more judgmental, I was miserable. I took everything personally, but it's not personal.
That's exactly what it's about. It's about stepping into that awareness and like detaching yourself from that judgment and just reading the dialogue. Because when you actually go into the Akashic Records, you need to be as neutral as possible. And this is like one of the most important concepts, because if you're attaching yourself to the dialogue, to the story, then you're going to switch the information in your favor. So one of the first things about when you're learning how to access the Akashic Records is being in a state of pure neutrality so that you can understand. Because if you're like, oh, I know, like my mother did this, this, like, and then you'll start to like just go into the dialogue that she was the villain this entire time. But if you're able to step back from that dialogue and say, let me view this from a neutral perspective, that's when you reach the true understanding of it's not just black and white, it's gray. There's more to the story than I'm perceiving because I was in it and I experienced that pain. Yay. Yay, you could share now, Queen.
Yeah, you hear me? I can't tell.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. I've just had some recent experiences where, like literally this morning, where my mom completely just was texting me over a situation. I'm back from Costa Rica right now for like a week and living with her. And she was really upset about how I was presenting myself to the world, like on social media. And she's like, throughout my life, has been really scared about how people will view me in different ways and my expression, and just being authentic to me. And it was just something this morning that like I still haven't responded to it. And I feel like that this is such a beautiful opportunity to be able to like really dive into like I just noticed within myself of how I wanted to automatically respond in a way of just like going back and feeding into the energy. And instead of feeding into it, like my immediate response is like being able to breathe through it and be able to see like, how do I really want to approach this kind of energy when she goes in with such a, with that kind of energy. And so being able to now have this level of understanding of being able to read into our souls kind of contracts together feels so, it's like such a beautiful practice for me to be able to then knowing how to approach these things with love and approach it and being able to see like why she feels these ways, or and why and why I have always responded to her, and like how our dialogue has always been. So it feels like really important work right now for exactly what's happening. And I mean, it's all perfect, but it
Thank
feels
you
really
so much
exciting.
for
So thank you
sharing
for
that.
hosting this and
Yeah.
your beautiful light.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's so profound that you're going through that healing right now. And I feel like also for you to really dive into the energy of your mother, and maybe she's been stifled in her expression, and she has this fear of being seen, this fear of being outside of the box. So she's really reflecting her fear onto you.
Yeah, I feel that that's what's happened so much. And I feel like I have that understanding. But for me to be able to then, I think it's kind of a back and forth for me. Like, how do I say that to her in a way that she understands, like, and that she's able to receive? And do I say those things with that level of awareness to, like, can I say, actually, I feel that you're stifled, like sometimes it doesn't feel that she's able to meet me in that level of awareness. So knowing how to then approach after you've seen at that level of awareness.
Sometimes as
And how to
well,
approach situations.
yeah. Sometimes as well, it's like really about you just being the example by you showing just how magnetic you are by fully expressing and being yourself, by showing like how you're able to do all of the things. She's also healing by witnessing your journey. And this is something important that I've realized, because I've also had so much judgment by my mother when I was stepping into my power and things like that. And it was also something where I couldn't have a conversation with her. Sometimes like they need to see it in order to heal it themselves. And the relationship with the mother is also very complex, because she doesn't want to feel like belittled by you in a way, because in her mind, it's like almost like you trying to open her mindset, where that could be also coming from a place of fear, like, oh my God, my daughter is teaching me something. So and one part of healing is just by you being that full expression of your being and allowing yourself to be witnessed and to be that challenge for her, and just fully allow yourself to shine in your light. And maybe this is also part of your challenge too, where if there's people who are going against what you know that you should be, are you going to back down, or are you still going to be that strong light that you know that you are, and the fully expressive being that you are?
It's so beautiful. And I feel that it's like such a path for all of us as women, like with working with our mothers. And so, yeah, I find it so beautiful. And I want to dive so deep into this work specifically because of that. And it's like such perfect timing. So,
oh, that's so beautiful. Did you want to share anything as well, Kavita?
I just want to share, like, I have done past life, but I have never ever been able to see anything. Whenever I go into this, and it just goes blank, like a blank slate, like like a plain, it's like a blackboard or whiteboard. Nothing is.
Yeah.
It was like that
Yes.
every time. So I don't know.
I've had several people I've worked with that also had that same experience, but what it actually could be, so there's several different things. One of them is that there's part of yourself that's scared of seeing the traumas of the past and doesn't want to dive into it yet. Sometimes what happens in that is like it's almost like your soul protecting you, like you can't go in right now.
Yeah.
And does it kind of feel like that?
Yes, I felt like this is not the time to,
Yeah.
go and see. And I
Yeah.
got that. Yeah. Every time I got that message.
That
This
happens
is not the right
sometimes.
time to.
Yeah. And what happens sometimes with that, like I've had people who were not able to see anything at all, and then something happened to them, like some sort of event in their life. And after that event, they were then able to feel the calling to go in and see the past, and they were finally able to see it. What I would say with that is like, one of the most important things is really developing the relationship with your spiritual guides, because they will literally tell you it's not yet time for you to go in, or they will literally tell you, we're preventing you from seeing this trauma. And you can even, in that respect, communicate with them and tell them that you're ready to see it if you feel ready. Because one of the biggest parts about the Akashic Records and about accessing your past lives is your intention. Are you going in just to experience it, or are you going in because you're ready to like go in with the sword, see all of the stuff, ready to surface it and ready to heal, you know?
Yeah, I was not at all worried, and I have attended with that intention only. Like I am ready, completely ready to see what has happened, what I have done, just to see, just to check.
Yes.
I don't think I have gone through any trauma. It's like things are there, but it's not, I won't say it's trauma.
Yeah.
I have not gone, God's blessing. I don't think I have gone through any trauma or something, but I am really curious to see, what I have done in past life. Who was I? Who am I? Like to go more further, to understand more deeply, to come out of that, this cycle of karma, to understand more deeply. Like,
Yeah.
that's the, yeah.
It's something for you that where it could be a timing thing, you know, where you'll receive the message. But what I also recommend is just staying really steady with your practices. It's so interesting because I find that people who have experienced severe trauma are almost like more easily able to go into their past lives, because they're so ready to surrender, they're so ready to see, and they're so ready to dive in. But it's nothing against also people who haven't experienced trauma. I just feel like maybe sometimes it's about opening to that in a deeper way, where like it's not only the desire to see, but it's also the desire to heal that will take you into that doorway. And that's sort of just what I've learned through my experience. But also what I would say is just the genuine practice of it, you know, like I'm sure you meditate like almost every day or weekly and everything.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend is also starting to try more past life meditations, even the ones available on YouTube. So like when you're ready to actually do a session with someone, your mind is also more prepped and your soul is kind of ready to go into that space and to dive more deeply. And trying through the Akashic Records might be another angle that might help you as well. So I'm going to actually dive into talking a little bit more about accessing the records and how to do this. So basically, they say that when you're accessing the Akashic Records, like I was saying before, you need to be at the most neutral, clear space of blank. No, what's that word? It's like basically like without being in like with no biasness. That's the word that I was looking for. Without the bias.
Non-judgmental. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Non-judgmental, no biasness. Exactly. So you're just completely ready. You're willing to be in the middle, just this empty container. And that is the goal, is to first achieve yourself being the empty container. And there's multiple ways to get to this state of being. For me, I've actually worked with a lot of deep forms of meditation, including trance channeling. And my mentor actually goes into the records through trance channeling. for me personally, I'm not like as much into the trance channeling, but what will happen is that I basically like enter into like a deep meditative state where I literally like can feel just emptiness, like blank slate. And then I'll say the Akashic Records prayer and just open up to receiving. So actually, like today, we'll do a little demonstration, and I feel called to actually go in with Alexandria, and we'll do like a little mini, like maybe 2 questions that you can ask, and like I'll channel the records for you as well, just so you can see how that works, and kind of like just understanding what it's like to be in that state. And through that is like how you guys will also know and recognize how you can access the record yourself. So it's important to develop these skills through practicing and training before attempting to access the records. One of the things with this sort of work is that you want to be as clear as possible. You want to have yourself in this beautiful protective bubble of light, because basically like what you're doing is you're entering into this space of like welcoming anything into your space as well, you know, like when you're psychically opening in that way. So one of the first things is first learning how to shield and protect yourself, because even when I was younger, when I first started diving into the psychic realm so deeply, I did have some negative experiences. And I'll be 100% clear with that, is that there are also like entities that are negative potentially, but, you know, ultimately they are desiring to go back to the light. That's what I'll say. So by you learning to shield yourself, putting always a protective bubble of white light, that will make sure that you're in this safe space when you're diving into this work, and just having that understanding. So the Akashic Records is a very powerful tool. And sometimes if you're not ready to receive information, or if like the path is not yet written in a way, you might literally get like you are not able to access this information. Like it will literally say that to you, and it could be protected for numerous reasons. Like either you're not ready to hear the information, either someone else is involved who have not given you permission to access the Akashic Records for them. So one of the major things whenever we're giving a reading to someone is we always ask for consent and permission. So the thing with it is, like, for example, how I'm reading Alexandria, I'm only able to access what is directly connected to her. If she was to ask me, oh, what about like this person that I met and stuff like that, can you tell me about them? I won't be able to access that information because that person did not give me consent and permission. So this is one of the important energetic concepts, because essentially what happens is we'll ask, like, can I get permission to access your records? Yes. What you're doing is you're literally opening that field of information to be accessed by that person. So sometimes we also, if you're just giving someone a regular psychic reading, you're also tapping into the records on some level, but this is just a deeper way of tapping in, and usually you get more information from this, and it's also a different way of going in. Usually when you're doing a reading, you're just kind of talking and you're kind of channeling it through, but when you do the record reading, you're usually in this state of like pure blank neutrality. You're in the state of just like speaking through, channeling the records. There was this concept that I learned from my mentor, Lynn, and it was like, you have to reach the vibration of the records to access the records, because it's already within you. So this means that through the inner work that you're doing, through the constant work and the progress, eventually you're going to reach this state where you're able to kind of like raise your vibrations to enter into the records within yourself. And like I said, everyone sees that differently. For some people, when they enter into that state, they might literally see a library where they're walking through, and then they grab a book, they're flipping through, and they see things. For me, like I get like, when I first access the records, I actually I had a dream the night before that I went into this library of information. And I was just like in this library in the middle of the desert, and it was so cool. And then when the next day when I did the class, when I actually like accessed the records, this is when I learned that I was able to like kind of go in through meditation. And basically what happens with me is like I kind of see books, but then like the information just kind of like channels through me, like I just speak it through. So everyone kind of interacts with it in a different way. And it's really important for you to just be open to accessing it in your own way. So one of the things is anytime that you're about to access the records, you always say this prayer. And there's a few different versions of it. This was just the one that I pulled for today. And then another thing is that you ask the person that you're doing the reading for their full legal name and for their birthday. Because imagine like you're going to an actual library and you're like looking up in the catalog, like, okay, it's like, you know, remember like back in the day in the libraries, you would go through the catalog. It's like, okay, B13 nonfiction section. And then you would like go through and find the book. So it's the same concept. So when you're accessing the records, you need the full legal name of the person, also where they were born, and their birth date. And that will give you full access to their records and also their permission. So Alexandria, can you actually text me all of your information? So that would be your full legal name, where you were born, and your birthday.
Well, she's doing that. I have a question.
Yes.
You know the Egyptian god Thoth?
Yes.
I had a dream with him. Oh, I'm getting chills. I had a dream of him showing me around his library.
Yes. He's actually one of the guardians of the Akashic Records.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I had a feeling it was the same when you mentioned it.
Yes.
I remembered that dream I had. That was so many years ago.
Yes. Because he actually has like the teachings of light and the Book of Thoth. And this is like all connected to the Akashic Records.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I knew he was tough. You know, if I wasn't invited, I would not want to go up against him.
That's exactly. So the first time that we ever do, you guys go into the Akashic Records, you basically will also learn that you have to ask the guardian's permission before you enter in. So you basically need to set your good intentions, and that's like a little process in itself, is just learning to connect to those spirit guides and then asking them permission before you go in, and then you become like someone who can access the records after you kind of like pass that little threshold.
Cool. Yeah, it's like I was a guest there.
Yes, exactly.
I like him. He's very cool.
Okay.
Highly intelligent.
Okay. So I'm about to go into the records for Alexandria. She just texted me her information. So what's going to happen is like I'm going to enter into a more clear like kind of state. And my eyes are going to be closed. And what I'm going to say is you may now present your question, and you're going to basically ask the records whatever question that you have. So we could do 2 questions, and you kind of want to like something good to like that could potentially be good to ask. I'm just going to give you an example. Like, can you explain to me the karmic relationship between my mother and I? Like, this is an example of like a question that you can ask. But it could be whatever you feel called to at the moment to ask. Like, it doesn't have to be that.
Can you say that one more time? It just cut out for that one bit.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Okay, so basically I'm gonna like enter into the state of accessing the records. So it's like kind of like a deep meditative state. My eyes are going to be closed, and then I'm going to say to you, you may now ask your question. And then basically from there is like when you can ask your questions, and I'm going to channel through the answer of what I see. And then I said it could be something like a good question to ask could be like, can you explain to me the karmic relationship of like whatever happened with my mother? Like that's just like one example, but it could be something else. It could be something like, can you explain to me the current energy that I'm moving through? Like, what do I need to do to get in alignment with my soul's purpose? Something like that. Like just whatever you feel called to do. Okay. I ask to access the Akashic Record to receive insight for my highest good and the highest good of all beings. I ask for protection and clarity as I enter into the sacred space. I ask for guidance of the Akashic Records as I enter into the space of peace and clarity. I ask for guidance and clarity on behalf of Alexandria, Grace Petite, born on October 30th, 2001, in Dalton, Georgia. I ask for all guidance, connection, and I surrender to receiving any answers you may provide. I allow my guides to come through to assist with the process of allowing me to access the records for the highest good, with the highest intention of allowing Alexandria to live a life more deeply aligned in understanding and in healing, allowing her to access this information so that she may continue to move forward in her life and continue to be a divine expression of being. The records are now open. You may now ask your question.
Does my name have a connection to Egypt, and what was the reason for my name being Alexandria?
Yes, dear, your connection does have a connection to Egypt. There indeed is a location in Egypt called Alexandria as well. This location is deeply connected to your soul. You have had many lifetimes within Egypt, and right now your soul incarnation has chosen to arise within the United States. The reason why you chose to be here is so that you can be a beacon of enlightenment for many people around you, but you have always felt like an outsider in your area as well. You have always felt like you have accessed knowledge and information beyond what you have been taught. There are people around you that sometimes question who you are and your expression of being. This is because you are meant to be the light that helps to enlighten that of other people. You are the being that has chosen to incarnate here in a difficult mission to help to raise the consciousness and vibration of your loved ones around you. You are a being who has incarnated many times in this existence, seeking esoteric knowledge, seeking to educate, and seeking a deeper path of enlightenment. In past lives, you have been in spaces where you have been celebrated and reverenced as a teacher. You have been a guru to many, but also so humble that you do not call yourself a guru. Right now, you are being called into a higher space of remembrance, to remember this connection, to remember who you are, as you are now being called to be this person that you were before in spaces where they have never experienced an energy like yours. It is time for you to continue to ascend, to continue to step into your soul knowledge so that you may continue to raise the consciousness and vibration of those around you who may have never experienced souls like you in their path. This path may seem isolating to you, but know that there are many willing to support you in your journey, and know that there are many family members of your soul that you will meet on your journey as you continue to step into who you are more deeply. Does that answer your question, dear one?
It does. Thank you so much.
Do you have one more question for the records?
I do. What are my next steps for my business, as I have not been one to pursue paths of money and I have been more on my spiritual path. So what are the next steps for me to be able to really unlock that abundance within my business? As for finding loans or investors, what's my next steps there?
Dear one, the abundance available to you is infinite. This universe is filled with abundant, loving energy. And in addition, you have so many souls around you that would support you in what you are doing. You have made an incredible impact in the lives of many, but there still needs to be healing done on your end, because part of you believes that other people won't believe in your dreams, won't believe in what you believe in. It is important for you to first ground yourself in the healing of the others around you, including that of your direct family, because they are willing to support your dreams when you fully show up in a grounded and approach to your future. You must really, truly ground yourself in your future, and then your abundance will be called in. There are so many people that are waiting for you to host the courses that you are holding yourself back from. There is so much information that wishes to be channeled through you, and you must continue to surrender to the channel of information. What you must do is continue to allow yourself to trust your visions, to trust what you are receiving, to just take leaps, to start hosting the courses, to not let yourself be held back from the vision of the expansiveness. Start with where you are at, dear child. You do not need to wait. You do not need to create a whole plan in order to jump into what you are doing. You are already doing it. You just need to launch. You just need to offer. You just need to start offering your services, and there will be people who are already waiting to experience your magic. The more that you continue to do, the more that others will see what you are doing and be willing to invest in you and your light. You must trust what you are receiving, and you must take action. Right now, you are in a space of rest. Allow yourself to rest so you can then energetically continue to ascend, to offer your skills and abilities to others. Take the time now to rest, and even tomorrow, may you step into your power and decide this will be the day that you host this course. This will be the day that you host this class. This will be the day that you decide that you will host this session. You already have all of the information and knowledge. All you need right now is yourself. There will be other people who come along the way to assist you, but right now it is about you stepping into your own power and belief and fully trusting. This is the energy that will allow you to have the most lucrative future in accessing the infinite abundance of the universe. Does this make sense?
Alexandra is disconnected in between.
Oh, wow. I'll have to send it
Yes.
to her. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that brought me right back.
Yes.
Wow.
It's been,
Hold on, let me just come back because it takes me. I'm like, my hands are like, woo. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Wow. How was that for you guys?
It was really, really good. It was like you are, speaking whatever you express right now is directly, it's for me. It was like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I felt the shift and I heard the shift. There was a difference in your speech pattern.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. And towards the end, I felt like you were talking to me. I feel like Alexandria and I have similar things going on.
That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Like the message is meant for everyone.
Yes, I think that is why we all are here. And it is similar for me also.
Oh,
The
good.
second question. Yeah, I can connect with that. So yeah, it is for all of us actually, maybe.
Yeah. It's so funny because I felt myself in the second one, like I got deeper, like my toes started tingling too. And it was just like a deeper level of surrender. And it just kept going.
It was very beautiful, Alicia.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
we just started and she got disconnected. I think 1 or 2 lines maybe she had
Oh,
missed.
wow. I had no
Yes.
idea because I was just so deep in
Yeah,
it.
you were just, like deep. So
Yeah. That's what it's like when you're fully in the records. You're just pulling it, whatever you surrender, whether or not she was here, that information had to come through. You just surrender to the container and you surrender to what it needs to speak. You allow yourself to be the voice for the records.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. And I'm glad you all got a message too.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Wow. Do you guys have any questions for me about that process or what it's like or anything?
No, it just seems similar to when I allow the angels to speak through me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it has a similar feel to it.
Yes. Yay.
I just want to ask one question, like
Yes.
how to have oneness or connection with a spirit guide, like deeply listen to spirit guide. Who is my spirit guide? I can see that like someone I got message or something, but still I do not do not know if I am connected with spirit guide. I am getting it very clearly, but I don't know. Something is like my logical mind is saying I need something, some more.
Yes. So basically what I would say is like your connection to your spirit guide is something that's developed over time through the meditation, the same way how you see like the blackness when you're connecting to the past life. The spirit guide, some people aren't able to see them at first, but it's really developing. There's different tools and techniques that you could do to really establish that relationship more deeply. And it's really about trust and surrender, because the more that you surrender to it, the more you're going to be able to access that spirit guide and that information as well. Yes. For me, what I did when I was first establishing the relationship more deeply is I did a lot of meditation, specifically spirit guide meditation, and I still do those. There's also different things that you could do, including like using the pendulum and things like that.
Yeah.
And yes, it's really powerful.
I do have a pendulum. I use it, sometimes. But with pendulum, sometimes the answer is coming yes, and sometimes for the same question, the answer is coming no.
Yeah.
Then.
So it's because you need to develop your intuition more deeply. Because what it essentially is like that full trust that will allow you to like have that answer more clearly. Okay, so yeah, like we spoke about, there's like a few benefits for accessing Akashic Records, and the established relationship with your spirit guides is also what helps you with having that clear intuition, because I feel like right now what you're basically trying to do is sharpen that intuition. So, you know, like the classes and courses definitely help with like learning and just being able to practice more too, and having that clarity to make those decisions in your life as well. So, yeah, basically, I'm so glad you guys came to this class. I hope that you guys have picked up some things and just saw a different way to psychically connect and learn a little bit more about your own connection and your potential and what that's like in your healing. And it's just such a powerful thing. And remembering our connection to the intuitive world just opens up all of these things for ourselves, and it really allows us to hone in these skills and abilities, and it can really help you to just take yourself to the next level with holding space for your clients, with holding space for yourself, with like learning your soul more deeply and exploring the universe. So if you guys are interested in learning more, we do have a more in-depth class that Lynn and I are hosting. And this is going to be done in conjunction with my mentor, Lynn, as well. So it's essentially going to be an Akashic Records immersion. So what this is, it's going to be a 4-series class. And we're going to be really learning in depth and practicing how to read the records and heal with them in them for both yourself and others. You're going to be, by the end of the class, learning how to access it yourself, learning how to get into that level of just connection. So the class is $888 for the entire class, and we do have payment plans available. And if you want to learn how to teach the records yourself as well, we have a package for that as well. So this is if you want to become certified to teach other people how to access the Akashic Records. That's going to be super like more intensive. It's going to be in total, it's going to be 12 classes. So that one is going to be $2,888. But the basic class is just first getting in, learning how to open the records, learning how to read them for yourself, learning how to enter into that space of channeling, learning how to hone those intuitive abilities. That's $888, and we're going to start on April 12th for that class. So if you guys are interested, definitely send me a message. And Kavita, are we connected on Facebook too?
Sorry?
Are we connected on Facebook?
No, I don't think so. I am, very, I'm not active on social media.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
How did you find us? It was on Facebook or somewhere else?
Yeah, I think someone uploaded some video to, like that, so I went on, I think Instagram, maybe Instagram or
Oh,
something, I don't remember.
Instagram.
Yeah, I just liked, and then next
Yeah.
year, this
Oh,
pop-up.
yeah. I did that
So,
on Instagram.
yeah, so it's pop up automatically next. So I was just watching and
Oh,
getting
wow,
a
that's so
register on that time
amazing.
itself.
Wow, that's so amazing. I'm so glad.
So,
And just so you know, we do also host like different free classes and stuff like that as well too. So if you're ever interested in one of the free classes too, we have so many available. So just if you can send me a message, and then I'll just add you to the email list so we can.
Yeah, I have, I've got email from, I don't know from whom, but from this, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you have it, then you're in. That's perfect. Yay, I'm so grateful.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm so grateful. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm always here to help you guys too if you ever need help or assistance or just have questions as well. Like this is like the purpose of what we've created. So the company is called Soul Mastery University, and essentially it's all about mastering your soul's purpose, mastering your intuitive psychic abilities, just learning how to dive in more deeply. We're also doing some retreats. So we're doing a retreat to Egypt, and that's going to be in May. It's a 10-day retreat. Then we're also doing one in Costa Rica. And we just have a bunch of other classes coming up. So if you guys are interested, definitely let me know. And Lynn also has a masterclass coming up soon. It's called Soul Mastery of the Soul. And it's going to be on April 5th. So we're going to send out this information as well. Yay.
Yes.
Yay. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping in. And if you're interested also in your own reading or had just more information and stuff, you could always reach out to me as well.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm sending you both lots of love and light, and I'm wishing you the best on your journeys.
Thank you.
Thank
Right
you
back
so
at
much.
you.
Yay.
Really
I'll
grateful
connect
to
with
you.
you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk soon.